Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see about the types of keys in database management system. Already we have done the same topic in our previous videos. It is in our channel, but in this video I'm going to summarize all the keys in a single video. Okay, I hope it will be very useful for you all. So let's move on to the topic, types of keys in database management system. Friends, please, if you have not watched the database management introduction, please go and visit that video that is in our channel. Kindly go through that video. After seeing that video, you can come and watch this video. Then only it will be easy to understand. Okay, so let's start the types of keys in database management system. First one, we are going to see about the key. What is the meaning of key? Why are we using key? What is the use of the key? Why we need that we are going to see. Okay, so key simply it is an attribute. We know that database management, it is dealing with the tables, right? Collection of data that is stored in a kind of a table. So tables are made up of columns and rows. So each column is called as a attribute or else field, and each row is called as a record or tuple. So in tables, everything will be an attribute or else a record, right? So this key is used to establish and identify a relation between the tables. Okay, so in database there will be lot of tables. In that collection of tables, we are going to establish and identify a relation between the tables. Okay, for that purpose we are using the keys. Then the second point is each record, that is a row within a table, can be uniquely identified by a combination of one or more fields in a table. So each record can be identified uniquely with the help of a single attribute or else a combination of attribute. Okay, that is more than one attribute. So for that purpose also key is needed. Okay, for unique identification. Okay, then the last point is help to enforce integrity and identify relationship. That whatever we have seen in the first point, the same thing. To enforce the integrity as well as to identify the relationship between the table and the attribute. For that purpose also we are using the key. So now we have understood the definition of key and what is the need of key. Now we are going to see the different kinds of keys. Okay, so the first key which we are talking about is primary key. Okay, the name itself we can understand that it is a primary one, that is a basic one. Okay, so this primary key, it should be unique. What is the meaning of unique? It should not be the same. It has to be different, right? So the primary key should be unique and it should not hold any null values. What is the meaning of null value here? Null is called empty. Okay, it should not be empty. If you just make a particular attribute as a primary key, then that attribute should not have a null value in it. Definitely some values has to be there. Okay, then only it will be called as a primary key. And one more thing, it should be unique. It should not be the same. For example, if two persons sharing the same name, then name will not be the primary key, right? Primary key means it should be the unique one. It should not be the same. And the second point is the column you choose to maintain uniqueness in a table at row level. So here this key is, it is talking about the row level. Okay, we are considering a table at the row level. So if you want to retrieve a data, it can be a row. Okay, it should be the row. So this is a column. Actually this is a column. That key is a column because it is an attribute. Attribute in the sense it's a column header. So it is a column that we have chosen to maintain the uniqueness in a table. Okay, and look at this example whatever I have given in here. Here we have that employee table, that is a relationship name is called as a employee. So in that employee table we have 5 attributes. First one is a employee ID, second one is a employee name, and the third one is SSN, then department ID as well as a DOB. Employee ID everybody knows, every person, those who belongs to any particular organization, school or college, whatever, they will have the ID, right? So that ID will be the unique one, because definitely no two person will share the same ID. Everybody will have a unique ID, individual IDs, right? It will not be the same. And employee name, there is a possibility, right? Sometimes there is a chance, if there can be in a particular organization or in a particular class, they may have two Anu, like three Balas, like that. There is a possibility, right? So employee name, definitely it can't be the unique one, right? And the next one is SSN, that also a kind of a ID. So that can be unique. And then department ID means each department will have an ID, right? They will have a department number, so that number will comes under a department ID. So for example, in a particular college or in any organization or in any office, there will be in a particular department, a group of members will be work on it, right? So that group of members will share the same department ID, so that there also duplicate values, not duplicate values, it cannot be a unique, right? It cannot be the unique value. So department ID also will not comes under primary key. Date of birth, yes, sure, definitely the possibilities are there, because two or more person, we don't know that. Most of the person can fall on the same date of birth, right? So their birthday fall on the same date, so there is a possibility. So that also will not be the unique. So here we can take that employee ID as a primary key, because through that we can able to find out the record in a uniquely, right? So this employee table, we can choose either employee ID or SSN column for a primary key. But when compared to employee ID and SSN, employee is a preferable choice, okay? Because it is a secure pin value, so that the employee ID is a more familiar one. So we will go for that, okay? So employee ID is a preferable choice for a primary key. Now look at this. Primary key must contain 3 points. The first point, it should have a unique value. The second one, it must not it should not be null, okay? And the third one, it should identify each record in the table uniquely. So these three are the main important points of primary key, okay? Definitely primary key should have a unique value, it should not be the null, and it should identify each record in a unique way. And friends, please make a note, primary keys are mandatory for every table. What is the meaning of mandatory? It is very important, right? So without primary key, there will be no table in the database. Each and every table will have a primary key, okay? And the next note point is when choosing a primary key from the pool of candidate keys, always choose a single simple key over a composite key. About this candidate key, we are going to talk about. So this point I'll tell you later on, okay? So friends, please don't forget, primary key, it should have the unique, it should have the three values. First one is it should have a unique value, it should not be the null, and it should identify each record uniquely, okay? And these two are the notes. Then we are going to see the candidate key. So look at this table. Here we have ID, name, age, and phone number. So as I said, ID, it will be the unique one, right? Definitely no two person will not share the same ID. And name, I told you before that. Here look at this table, there are two John. So it is not a unique one. So it cannot be taken as a primary key. As well as the age, there are two person have the same age, right? And phone number, definitely phone number will be different, because everybody will have a unique number, right? They will not share the same phone number. So phone number also unique one. So here ID, phone number, and the combination of two, ID and phone number, these three are act as a candidate key, okay? So candidate keys, it will also have a unique value. It can be a single attribute or it may be a group of attributes, okay? So now we are going to see about the candidate key. It is a subset of super key. Super key, whatever key is present in the table, it is called as a super key. But when you are talking about the candidate key, it is a subset of super key, okay? And a candidate key is a single field or the least combination of fields that uniquely identifies each record in the table. As I said, with the table I said no. So it may be a single attribute like ID and phone number. Sorry, ID and the second one is a phone number, or it may be a combination of two or more attributes. Okay, that is ID and a phone number. Both can act as a candidate key. So candidate key can be a single attribute, or it may be a combination of attributes. The least combination of fields distinguish a candidate key from a super key. Because super key, when you are talking about the super key, every attribute is a super key, right? But when you are talking about the combination candidate key, compared to the super key, it will be less in number. So that is a minimal set of super key, okay? And every table must have at least one candidate key, but at the same time can have several. So this candidate key also a mandatory. So definitely whatever tables present in the database, it should have at least one candidate key, or else it can have several candidate keys. That also correct, this also correct, but it should have a candidate key in it, okay? So now we will see the alternate key. That's all about candidate key. Now we are going to see about the alternate key. Alternate key, what is the meaning of alternate key? We have seen that candidate keys, right? For example, we have seen a table, no? You just consider this table, okay? In this table, ID and phone number is act as a candidate key, right? So in which ID will be act as a primary key. So ID we have chosen as a primary key. Now which is left over? Which candidate key is left over? Phone number. So whatever key is left over, that is called a alternate key. Okay. In the candidate keys, which key is left over? After assigning the primary key, which key is left over, that will be considered as an alternate key. Okay. Can you understand now? So here ID will be act as a primary key. That's why phone number is changed as an alternate key. Okay. Now look at this. So here we have roll number, name, branch. So these three are the candidate keys: roll number, name and branch. Here roll number is taken as a primary key. So now what are the remaining candidate keys are there? Name and branch. So that name and branch is act as a alternate keys. Now can you understand what is the meaning of alternate key? Yes. Now we are going to see about foreign key. Okay. Foreign key is nothing but, see, look at this given table, employee and employee and department. Okay. So in this employee table, we have 5 attributes: employee ID, employee name, SSN, department ID and DOB. So through which attribute we can able to connect this employee table with the department table? There are only one attribute, that is a department ID, through which we can able to connect this employee table with the department table. So whatever attributes giving the link between the two tables, that will be called as a foreign key of this table. You just consider this employee table as a parent table and this department table as a child table. Okay. From the parent table, we can connect to the child table through this department ID. So without this department ID, we cannot able to access this child table from the parent table. So this department ID is giving establish the connection between these two tables. So this is act as a foreign key of this parent table. When you are talking about the parent table, the department ID will be the foreign key. But when you are talking about the child table, this department ID will act as a primary key. Can you understood? Don't get confused. Here, whenever you are talking about the employee table, department ID will be act as a foreign key. But when you are considering this department table, department ID attribute is the primary key. Understood? So here in above tables, department ID of department table is a primary key, whereas department ID of employee is a foreign key. Employee is a foreign key. Okay, when you are considering this table, employee table, department ID is act as a foreign key. When you are considering this department table, department ID will be act as a primary key. Okay, so it means it has referred to another table. This concept is also known as referential integrity. So referential integrity is nothing but the function of a foreign key. Okay, so now look at this table. There are two tables are there. One is a student and another one is a course. In the student table, we have a course ID through which we can able to refer the source table. So here course ID is a primary key for course table, and for student table roll number is a primary key. But course ID of student table is act as a foreign key. Okay. So last one, we are going to summarize all the keys in this table itself. So look at here, employee ID in table 1 and table 2. In table 1 we have 5 attributes, that is employee ID, employee name, employee license, employee passport and DLD. That is a department ID. Okay. And here department ID and designation. In table 2 we have 2 attributes. So here employee ID is act as a primary key. And employee ID, employee name, not employee name, employee ID, employee license and passport. These 3 are the candidate keys. So in this candidate keys, employee ID is taken as a primary key. So remaining employee license and employee passport is act as an alternate key. Alternate key and unique key both are same. Okay, don't get confused. And department ID is a foreign key. Okay, and look at this, primary key, candidate key and alternate key. Everything is pointing to super key. So all these 3 keys, primary key, candidate key, alternate key, it can be called as a super key also. All the primary keys are super keys. All the candidate keys are super keys. All the alternate keys are super keys. But all the super keys are not a primary key. All the super keys are not a candidate key. All the super keys are not a alternate key. So in this we are going to wind up the session. So I hope you all understand the concept of keys in database management system. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends and subscribe my channel too. Thanks for watching. Thank you.